Hey, mamas, good morning. Today I want to talk about one of the biggest reasons you're probably struggling working from home. I find this with our new bookkeepers who join a bookkeeper training school. I find this with mom business owners that I talk to all over the country. This is the biggest thing that I have found from the hundreds of, if not probably over 1,000 businesswomen that I've spoken to over the last couple of years. There is an exercise that we do in bookkeeper training school where I have people write down their roles and responsibilities and basically spend their week on paper. And women are shocked that there are more things on their plate than there are hours of the day, hours of the week. I've had people that said, okay, if I just don't sleep, then I can get it all done. And that's just not feasible, right? Your brain and your body need that rest. We are packing in way too much because we have unrealistic expectations of what we can get done. And I know that that is very hard to swallow because we want to be the best mom. We want to be the best businesswoman. We want to be the best wife. We want to be the best partner. We want to be the best daughter. We want to be all of the things. And I tell you this because I love you guys. It is not possible to do everything all at once. One of my favorite quotes is, you can do anything, but you can't do everything. And so when I talk to women who are struggling in their businesses, I say, okay, well, tell me what you have going on. They said, all right, well, my kids are home. I said, okay, that's awesome. That's great. So when are you working? And they're like, well, I try to get work done while my kids are awake, but that's really hard. And it is. It's really, really hard especially if you don't have somebody to help you. So I said, okay, so when are your kids asleep? They said, well, my kids take, maybe a nap, for an hour or two in the afternoon. And then, they go to bed, at 8 or 9 o'clock at night. And then they wake up, when they wake up in the morning. And so, okay, when do you work? And most of these moms will tell me, well, I might work during nap time, but there's laundry and there's all these things that I've got to get done. And then I've got client work, so I'm up until 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning doing client work. And that's just not feasible. And so, one of the things that I train my bookkeepers on is that you first have to figure out how many hours you have to actually work, right? And that means getting sleep, right? Taking care of your children, and then figuring out, okay, what's left for me to give to my business. And I know some of you are single moms, or you need a full-time income. And so you think, okay, well, full-time income equals full-time hours at my desk. And that is just not true. I think that is a myth of business, that when you worked for somebody else, you worked X number of hours to earn your paycheck. And so if you go home, you need to work X number of hours sitting at your desk, or else you don't feel like you've accomplished what you need to do. And I think a lot of times we fill that time with busy work, right? That doesn't really need to get done, right? Or doesn't really add value for your clients or for your business. And so I'd recommend that once you figure out how much time you actually have to devote to your business, then you sit down and say, okay, how can I maximize my income in the amount of time that I have? And that's what we did when we developed bookkeeper training schools. I said, okay, most of these moms have 2 hours a day. So how can I develop a system where they can make a really good income in a couple hours a day? And that's what the bookkeeper training school system, what we call the SPA system, was built on, right? It was built on a methodology of, okay, busy moms only have maybe 2 hours a day to work. How do we make that a sustainable, livable, income on that period of time, in that period of time? Most people don't think that way. Most people think, okay, this is what I can make, and so I need to fill in the hours. And we flip that on its head. And I encourage you that when, especially if you're not currently working at home, but you want to make that transition, you need to ask yourself, in the hours that I have, right, in a realistic number of hours that I have, what can I do to maximize my income? Okay? Because when you think about it that way, you're going to make more money in fewer hours at your desk. So if you've got questions about this, let me know. This is something that I think Jeff and I have been very effective in our business, and the way that we train our bookkeepers to do the same. All right, guys, take care.